Abandoned buildings are arguably the coolest and scariest things ever, so today we are talking about the top 10 scariest abandoned buildings. I'm your host Makayla, so let's get started. Starting off at number 10, the Hotel de Sato. This is located in Tequendama Falls, Colombia. The Hotel de Sato was first opened in 1928 to serve tours visiting the nearby 157-meter waterfall. Reports of a contaminated waters led tourists to begin to lose interest in visiting the hotel, and it was forced to close its doors in the early 1990s. The building was converted to a museum in 2012, and locals claim that people have decided to use the site to take their own lives, leading many to believe that it's haunted and the people that have passed away on the grounds have their spirits still lurk around.
Tapias built a mansion, a grand building featuring elaborate French architecture. It became a popular playground for the well-to-do. The mansion proved so successful that Tapias decided to expand the property and launch it as a holiday destination.
Oh, look at that. Someone's heel. That's cool. Dude, this is like where they're dead.
Number 9, Chateau Miranda. The Miranda Castle in Celis was built in 1866 in neo-Gothic style. It was commissioned by the Laird de Kirk de Beaufort family, who had left their previous home during the French Revolution. The architect who was in charge passed away before the construction was finished. It was then served as an orphanage and also a holiday camp for sickly children till 1970. The castle has been abandoned since 1991 as the maintenance cost was too expensive. The spooky-looking castle is also featured in the American TV series Hannibal. Number 8, Eastern State Penitentiary. Once the world's most expensive prison, from 1829, this Philadelphia facility boasted grand architecture, modern luxuries, and notorious inmates, including Al Capone, one of the first penitentiaries ever built. It combined impressive design and strict discipline to inspire regret and reform in the hearts of convicts. Since its closure in 1971, the complex has crumbled into a mass of deteriorating cell blocks, which are now recognized as a National Historic Landmark. Eastern State Penitentiary is now open to visitors year-round.
I'd say when I first started here that most people were here for the dark tourism side of things, to hear about escapes and Al Capone and silver era gangsters, things like that. But I've really seen a change in our visitors, especially in the last 5 years. I'd say there's a lot of people coming.
Number 7, Anzi houses. Sorry if I mispronounced that. These houses resembling flying saucers are located in the Anzi district, New Taipei City. Although the buildings are completely abandoned places, it is popular with tourists due to its unusual architecture. The location is said to be haunted as it's witnessed a lot of passings and people taking their own lives during construction. It is, however, unsure of why exactly it's abandoned and why people left. Now, as they look cool, they also look pretty scary being abandoned. I'm sure they looked great before, but now they are just really freaky looking.
Not only UFOs, but also futuristic angular buildings are standing here. There seems to be a whole village, run down, abandoned, and decaying. The so-called Mingguo calendar starts with the foundation of the country in 1912. So the last sign of life in the UFO house is 14 years old.
Number 6, Military Hospital. This scary-looking military hospital is located in Belitz-Hallstatten Hospital, Belitz, Germany. The hospital is sat near Berlin in a little town called Belitz, famous for asparagus. Kinda odd, but okay. It was originally built at the beginning of the 20th century to treat tuberculosis, with the entire facility comprising around 60 buildings. It was commandeered as a military hospital during the World Wars, and was also used for German experiments during World War II. During the final days of the war, the facility was captured by Soviet forces and became their biggest military treatment center outside of Russia until 1994. Small parts of it are still in use for neurological research and treatment, but most are left abandoned. The last reported use was around 1994 to 1995.
Enter at your own risk. This hallway looks like it could be where all the patients were staying.
Halfway at number 5, St. Thomas Psychiatric Hospital. St. Thomas Psychiatric Hospital opened in 1939 and served over 1,700 patients. The institution was abandoned in the summer of 2013, and a new mental health facility was developed soon after to replace it. In the time that the facility was active, it housed a few notorious patients who committed violent deeds, including impaling, strangling, and torturing other patients or co-workers. People claim to have heard random sounds, banging, crying, and whispering, and seen flickering lights and moving objects during their visit. As of today, there is heightened security at the site, but it may be possible to have a short wander around the grounds where the old hospital once stood during daylight hours, but I'd recommend not going there just in case. Number 4, the Ryugyong Hotel. This hotel is in Pyongyang, North Korea. The hotel, otherwise known as the 105 building, is one of the world's creepiest abandoned places. It is also, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, the tallest unoccupied building in the world. Construction of the building began in 1987 and was suddenly stopped in 1992. Construction resumed in 2008 but again halted in 2011. The building is yet to be fully completed and has never been occupied.
Leaving only a desolate skeleton. The nickname the Western press gave this unfinished eyesore, the Hotel of Doom.
Number 3 is ZKP to Gansky. Hidden 60 meters below the streets of Moscow lies a 7,000 square meter space which once served a secret Cold War era communications center. Built in the 1950s, this vast complex was designed to withstand a direct nuclear attack and filled with enough supplies to stay running for months afterwards. Since its declassification in 1995, Bunker 42 has drawn many visitors into the secrets of the past. Number 2, Old Charleston Jail. In Charleston, South Carolina, the Old Charleston Jail dates back to 1802 and hasn't changed much over the years, although a tower was removed due to earthquake damage in 1886. Notable prisoners of this jail include Denmark Vesey, arrested for planning a slave uprising, and Lavinia Fisher, the country's first female serial killer. Pirates and Union soldiers were also held captive, and many locals believe the spirits and souls of the incarcerated continue to reside behind bars. Ghost-themed visits can be arranged through Bulldog Tours, which invest heavily into the preservation of the building. The exterior is also easy to spot on Magazine Street when walking among other historic sites in downtown Charleston.
Every time I walked in this room, we gave him... What was that? Why do you remain in this jail?
Now coming in at number 1, St. George's Church. This church is located in Czech Republic. The now rundown St. George's Church in the Czech Republic is not only spooky from the outside, but is equally creepy on the inside. This church was abandoned in the 1960s, but has, in recent times, become home to some ghostly shrouded statues. This church was left to rot when its roof collapsed in 1968, and thinking it was bad omen, the residents boarded up the church soon after. Services were held outside the church instead. Despite this, residents wanted to see it restored, and so an artist was commissioned to turn it into an art installation to raise funds for the work. Some weird looking plaster ghosts were installed in 2014 and have since then become a tourist attraction. But like, I don't know why anyone would want to go there. I mean, those things look terrifying, and while watching the video, I'm just waiting for one of those to just come alive and turn their head around.
Resting quietly atop a hill at the end of a narrow winding road is a centuries-old church filled with ghosts. But they're not exactly what you might be expecting.
And that was the top 10 scariest abandoned buildings. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe so you know every time we upload a new video, and I'll see you guys next time.